Hello, SimTheWorld here, playing Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. Before we take our next repair order, let us go ahead and head over to our toolbox, because we've increased a couple levels since we've last played. If you haven't been checking us out on Twitch, we've been streaming, so we have a few more perks to unlock. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have. That's kind of interesting. The walking faster is not unlocked. We don't need faster part examination. 150% faster screwing and unscrewing is a must-have. This will make everything so much quicker. I'm still not looking to unlock anything. So at this point, I think we're going to start saving some of our upgrades, because as soon as we hit level 25, we're going to want to unlock all these repair items. So we're going to need at least 5 skill points by that point. So when we hit 25, we'll have 6 in total. That'll give us the 5 there. And this one's really nice. This shows us the average value of auction cars. Not that we're going to be spending a lot of time in the auction, but we might be there. But this will probably be our 6th perk here. We can install and uninstall parts much quicker. So we really only had one, and we don't have to worry about that until we're level 25 now. Let's go ahead and check out our next story order. Hello, it's me again. It seems that my last trip was a bit too much for me and my car, which has lost a little bit of weight. I was told by the people at the dealership that all this is because I had the wrong tires fitted. Please install correct off-road tires on the car and do whatever is necessary to make it drivable again. I'm planning on driving this car through Siberia 2 weeks from now. So we were correct in assuming that we'd be seeing this SUV again. We've got some damage here. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the car. It doesn't look too bad. I'm not seeing any issues with the rims. The tires look pretty bad, so we'll actually get to test the, let's see if we can do that now. We've not actually gotten to use the tread tester in any meaningful way yet. We know we have to replace them with off-road tires anyhow, so yeah, the 2 of them are bad and 2 of them are alright. We'll end up selling and getting rid of all of them, so let's see. Yeah, I suspect we'll need to so the windows need to get taken care of, and so probably a lot of the suspension parts. But before we go ahead and do that, I want to take this out on the test path and the test track. And after I do that, we'll come back and take a look at what we found. Alright, so we're back in the shop. As you can see, we found quite a few more parts. A lot of them are suspension components. We know at least 4 of these are going to be the new tires as well. We also have some body parts to install. So why don't we go ahead and, as you can see, one of the lighter components that are missing is the fact that they're missing windows. So we're going to need to pick up one of the windows. Need the right side. They must have hit something going through. Just took out the whole right side of the vehicle. There's the mirror. You got 1 window, 2, and 3. With that, at least this component of the job is done. Let's get this over on the lifter, and we will go from there. So before I could take this out on the road, actually the car was missing both the radiator and the fan housing and fan. So somehow that must have got knocked off. If this were a real car and you lost the radiator, all the hoses would be torn off, you'd be leaking coolant everywhere, your engine would overheat. I have no clue how this car got in here, but go ahead, and we know we need to take off all the tires now. So we're just going to take that out. Ooh, these parts are coming off quickly. That's fantastic. It's like a night and day difference from what we had before. Rip through this real quick. Alright, so let's take care of the tires first, and then we'll come back and look at the rest of the car. We know we need off-roading tires. Let's take a look here. And they're all 20-inch. Oh, wait a second. They already have off-roading tires. Let's check out this description again. Please install the correct off-roading tires on this car. I really don't know what's wrong with these. So, in fact, we're just going... Yeah, we're just installing the 2 broken ones. There's no point in putting all new tires on. And these were off-roading tires B. And we need 20-inch. Ooh, there's some more we need to check. Let's go ahead and do that. I forgot we need the dimensions of the tire, so that's, we need 245, 45. That would certainly help us. We need 2 20-inch, 245, 45. Alright, so that's got almost $900 worth of tires. I'll go ahead and install these in balance and meet you back here. And with our last tire, we are ready to start working on this vehicle. I actually want to start from the rear end. It looks like there's less damage here. I think we're going to have our work cut out for us on the front end. Seems like we've had a lot of suspension orders recently. I would anticipate in future episodes coming up that we'll start jumping into a little more interesting of builds. Hopefully taking care of some both engine issues, maybe a few more transmission jobs. We need a new wheel hub and the knuckle housing. Go ahead and order those parts. We need rear knuckle housing C, and we needed a wheel hub. Let's go ahead, and I think everything else back on this side is fine. We'll go ahead and put in our new parts. I forget if that bushing we pulled out was any good. I'm going to assume it's not. I'd rather do this all once and not have to come looking for a random bushing. Okay, wheel hub 3 was what we needed to replace. That's alright. It's very possible we'll have to replace the same on the other side. Alright, so the solid drive axle is fine. Let me confirm that. I thought we did have to replace it, but I could be wrong. Nope, it's not on the part list. So we'll give them this older one. As you can see, I picked up 2 because I thought that was already listed, but that's alright. Extra parts are always convenient, especially when we're streaming. If you've watched our stream, it's always convenient just to have the parts on hand. It makes everything so much quicker. Put the new tire on. And let's jump over to the other side. We're going to want to tear down this side as well. I suspect it's going to have similar issues. Get the bushing off. Plate and control arm. Oh, we're a little quicker than the controller today. Make sure nothing else is... Yeah, we need to replace the knuckle. And the wheel hub does look bad as well. So we should have just bought 2 of each, but that's alright. Picking up a couple extra components isn't the end of the world. Let's throw these back on. Then we'll be able to move up to the front end. I suspect the front end is where we've got some significant damage. Seeing as they lost the radiator and the fans, the front end must have taken some damage. Already I can see that cross member up there is completely rusted out. So we'll probably have to remove that and all the bushings. But it does look like the shock absorbers are fine on the front, which is kind of surprising. If they took this off-roading, I would have imagined those would have been shot to hell. That's not the case today. Let's go ahead and jump up here. We got some tearing apart to do. Now these rotors look terrible. But in fact, they're all at almost 60%, so I'm not sure how they get so bad. Like so rusted up and still considered new. So we need the front knuckle covering. The outer tie rod needs replaced. The inner tie rod's fine. So we'll leave that there. We will have to take off the shock absorber. So we need to remove the bottom suspension arm. The bushings on that were fine, so we're going to reuse those. Similarly up top here, those bushings are fine. And we got the knuckle covering. And we're actually going to have to disassemble both sides, because we need to remove the whole cross member before we can go ahead and repair everything. That'll take a few more minutes. Now this side, this tie rod needs to be replaced, or the inner tie rod, specifically. Bushing's good in this. Bushings are fine. Oh, this side of the bushings are fine too. Or just that one. We're replacing all 4. I'm never going to remember that, and I'd rather be on the safe side. So, let's go ahead and check which cross member we need. That's front cross member C. We should have plenty of bushings still. Also needed, I should have just stayed there. We need 2 front knuckles and the front knuckle coverings. And let's go ahead and start assembling. We are going to need a couple more new bushings. That's all right. I'd rather pick those up now and not have to deal with any issues with new components when we're selecting the rest of them. Like this again is where it'd be convenient if these parts stacked. So if I had if I had like 5 new bushings, I don't need to see 5 parts like that. It just makes it very difficult to shift through the components. Like I can understand, like even this is kind of annoying. They're both 50. Oh no, they're different percents. I'm sorry, I'm blind. So yeah, we'd have to see different ones of those. But like here, we have a bunch of bushings at 58%. Instead of having to cycle through these, could just give us a stack. That would be very convenient. I don't think we're going to get that lucky today. Perhaps in 2021, that would be a feature I'd love to see. Let's go ahead and get the brake assembly done. I don't think we need any other components. And I actually believe this is all the parts that we need to find. We're going to find out really quick if we're missing something. I'll have to check back and see if we did their brakes the last time they were in. That'd be kind of interesting if they still have the same percent brakes. Or, God forbid, they got better. That'd be really weird because that would have meant they went to somebody else. They didn't want us doing their brake job. This is also kind of annoying too. We replaced both the outer tie rods and only one of the inner tie rods. That's not realistic. You go to a repair shop, you do one, you might as well do both. Certainly if you're doing both on one side, you're going to replace both on the other. We'll have a few extra bushings at the end of the day. We'll just sell those because we don't need the low quality parts. Even when we get the repair bench open and working, those are considered consumable parts and those aren't repairable. Which makes sense, it's just a rubber bushing. Those just take abuse and wear and tear, and you're not really rebuilding rubber. Go ahead and get the tire on, and we'll take a look here and see. This should be all we need to do. Just confirm. Oh no, we're still... Interesting. So they did want us to replace both other off-roading tires and the inner tie rod. Let's take a look at the tires here. At least for the tie rod, that's easy to get to. And I actually did buy 2 new ones. So, my mistake. They did actually, even though the one wasn't completely damaged, they do want us to replace that. So, good on them. I was wrong, and the game actually got that one right. So now the tire's off. I'll come back once I install the new tires, and we'll get going again. Alright, so we replaced both tires, put them on the rims, balanced them. Now we've completed the job. Alright, so I'm actually really impressed. I've been giving this game a little shit on not being too realistic. But in fact, we replaced the matching components on both sides, whether they needed it or not. And we replaced all 4 tires. So, I stand corrected. I apologize, Playway and the game developers. You guys are far ahead, further than I am. Let's go ahead and sell this car. That's almost $9,000 repair build. And with that, we're going to take the next job for the next video. Thanks for watching as I simulate my life, one game at a time. If you liked this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates to future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch as I try to stream 3 days a week. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.